Hello, beautiful people. I hope you guys are doing well and continuing your path of evolution to become closer to God, Source, Energy, Universe, whatever your terminology is. But ultimately, knowing that you are part of that spark of the divine. You are God, and He is you. So realize you're observing yourself, you're experiencing yourself. I mean, what other form could spirit, consciousness, whatever your belief system is or want to call it, it's all the same thing, could experience itself, could experience touch, could experience smell, could experience what we call sadness, happiness, whatever, right? So, I have some notes here, and I just kind of go over. I had some serious downloads today. I've had a wild couple of days. So just here it goes. So again, I don't edit. I just kind of go with the flow and allow the God Christ within to just help me with what needs to come out. And those, as I mentioned before, eyes to see, ears to hear. Great, because one day you will have your opportunity to tell your story, because your experience will help someone that's probably in a much more worse scenario than you, at least conceptually, analytically. So, as you know, I've been on this journey for about 3 years, and just been very blessed to be where I'm at in such a short period of time. I had an event this last weekend, went to, and just amazing stuff, amazing. And this morning I woke up about 4 o'clock, 4:30, just instinctively just wanted to meditate. I knew I had to. I don't wake up that early normally. And I closed my eyes. When I opened them, like 4 hours had passed. It was like 4.5 hours. It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I was like, "Whoa, what? Wait, what happened?" But during that time frame, even though it felt so short, it felt there was like a whole story happened. I don't even know. They call them downloads, ideas, thoughts, whatever you want to call it. But so I was very inspired to do this video. And I do plan to do more. And as you know, I don't edit. It's not all fancy, at least not yet. It's just very inspired to do this video. So hopefully it helps someone at some point in their journey, if not now, later. People used to tell me, well, how do you plan to help people? If you're not this or this or that. It's like, hey man, I'm here to help whoever I can help, right? Just as the universe, God, Source, gets people from A to B, C to D, C to Z, right? Different people who come in your life, your soul family. We're all here on a soul contract. We all signed up for this, believe it or not. It's a beautiful time to be alive, regardless if you believe it or not. But we all signed up for this. And we're all on the same path, just at different levels. Everything has its place. So don't knock on anything. Don't knock on religion. Don't knock on anything. Don't knock on anyone's beliefs. We're all need what we need to get to the next level of where we're going to be at. And then it's going to be your job to reach your hand back and help the next person up. Because ultimately, as when the apostles asked Christ, what is the most important commandment of all? And he answered, love thy neighbor and guard them like the pupil of your eye. So in essence, when you help yourself, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping the collective, which is everybody, combined. If you don't learn to master your emotions and your thoughts, the collective will master you. And we all know what's going on in the collective right now. Like 98% of the population's asleep, right? But we're waking up one by one, and it's happening at a fast pace. The earth is ascending. I'm not going to get into details of that. I don't want to disconnect people. I'm trying to stick to what the purpose of this video is. And I'm sorry if I go off tangent. I get excited because it's become from an obsession to a passion to just now really understanding that what part of my purpose is here for. Besides, the regular everyday blessings that we receive of our divine birthright, is to help those that need it, and I plan to do that in the ways that I can, that I see that is lacking in videos, on YouTube and other sources. So anyways, let's get to it. So as you know, when I started my journey 3 years ago, Dr. Joe Dispenza was a huge part of it, just as Joseph Murphy, Neville Goddard, came back full circle 3 years later. Abraham Hicks. I mean, there's just a list of names. Dr. Stephen John D. Martini, just Dr. Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, a ton of people, David Sarita, a ton of people that contributed into my evolution of growing spiritually, right? So anyhow, I did all of Dr. Joe's stuff free online, right? So I'm sure like a lot of us do, and try to help as many people as I can. And you start evolving, but you have to keep searching, right? So people ask, how come you never leave links on the bottom of your YouTube? Because I want people to look. I want them to search. They have to search. You have to search in order to find. It can't just be given to you, because then you won't understand. You have nothing invested into it. It's like kind of like a real estate deal or an investment deal, right? If it's for free, it's a different psychology than when you have money invested in it, because then you're in the beta mode. You're paying attention all of a sudden. So that's why. But for this video, I will leave a couple of links below of some just outstanding things. So a couple of channels. One of them, I'm sure you probably heard of. Inverse, right? The other one's called The Power of You. A lot of theta frequency with brain coherence. The hemisphere communicate with each other. But more importantly, there's a bigger purpose understanding the science side of it, because it helps you focus more. So this morning when I got up during the meditation, and I opened my eyes, just a lot of stuff came to me. And if you saw my previous video, you'll see that in every room, and I don't know if you can hear in the background, because right now I'm playing something so I can keep focused and just get what I have to say out. But in each room, I have affirmations playing, subliminals playing in every room. Bedroom, kids' room. And the reason is, just like we know that our thoughts can make us sick, but our thoughts can make us well. That's becoming, it's coming out, right? Whether you believe it or not, it's science. So, just when you're in a haunted house, or someone is murdered in a house or in a place, sometimes when there's a lot of bad things that happen in one place, that vibe is still there, that energy is still there. The haunted house, or creaking the chair, whatever it may be, but you understand what I'm talking about. So, if it can be like that, why can't positive things or positive energy be in the same place, right? If everything's energy, the way Nikola Tesla said, which is very true, if you can think of frequency and vibration, the secrets of life, along with the numbers of 369, right? So anyhow, in my previous video, you'll see that I talked about how I program my subconscious mind for me and my kids. It's just always going 24/7, doesn't stop. You don't have to hear it. It doesn't have to be loud, because the subconscious takes in so much information. I think, to be exact, like 40 million bits per second compared to 40 bits per second through the analytical mind. That's why they say 95% of the time we're being controlled by the subconscious mind by the time we're 35 years old, right? Again, science proves this. So I was in my meditation, and Dr. Joe Dispenza, he had what's called the blessing of the energy centers. And I've had it for a while. I've never listened to it. In all reality, I never had to buy any of this stuff, because the more I would help people, the more they would give me things in return for my service. Not asking, but just because they were grateful for it. And helped a good friend, not even knowing, from Croatia. And he was generous enough to give me just everything he had on Dr. Dispenza. So I've had that for a while. I just was not ready, because I was just learning so much from different teachers and so forth, right? So anyhow, I finally listened to it, and given any of these meditations, you have to understand these are all techniques that will work for some people and not work for others, right? If we can get the more of the collective to believe and understand it, then you're going to be more influenced by it. But these techniques are to find what's right for you. There's no right and there's no wrong. These are all simply techniques to ultimately help you reprogram your subconscious mind. They didn't call it back then, but to get you to that next level. So stop judging people's techniques. It's either right for you or it's not. And if it's not right for you, don't hate on it, because you're changing every day. You're not the same person you were when you woke up this morning. You're not the same person you were 5 minutes ago. That's why when we tell our victim stories, right, before you wake up, that 50% of the stuff that we talk about our past is made up. That's science talking. Dr. Dispenza talks about that too. So anyways, during the blessing of the energy centers, he's having you go down to the chakras, basically what he calls them, so he doesn't disconnect people. He's a very smart guy. He's having you touch each one and having you, because you are key. You have the power, your consciousness, your power, you're part of God, the God Christ within, as I call it. And so he's having you touch it and bless it and so forth, right? And I'm doing that, and I'm in a zone, obviously, just taking it all in. He's talking about having new information come into these areas. And we know all around us is a sea of information they call the quantum field, correct? The spirit world, I mean, there's other names for it, but we know that's factual, right? Nassim Haramein has been able to break it down on a science level, which is another reason why I feel I've been able to bridge the gap of what people think separate, because it's the same. It's same, and everyone's talking about it, but other people are having a hard time communicating it, or having the circuitry to be able to convey it, right, to others. So, with my blessed talents, I feel like I can, help bridge the gap a little bit, at least the best that I can, for those that are ready. At the end of the day, the God Christ within you is dreaming. You're dreaming of yourself, experiencing yourself, because again, you're God. You're part of that divine source, right? Whatever you want to call it, your belief system. And the information around you is key, because it's always around you. What's keeping you blocked from your manifestations, not only your beliefs, but being unaware of what's truly there that can't be seen. Just like Wi-Fi, we know it's there. Just like the microwave, we know all these other different waves are there, but we just can't see them because of the spectrum of light that we can see. It's a very 1%. So during the meditation, just had this download of me knowing that the information's there, right? And what you think and how you feel is like what the thought sends the signal out. The emotion drags it in. It's like a vortex, right? The elevated emotion. And then it hit me. I was like, wow. And I don't even know. I could feel it in every cell of my body. And there's like 70 to 100 trillion cells in your body. As a community of cells that allow you to do what you do. And then in each cell is like up to 100 million atoms. So, I mean, in your worst day, when you're looking in the mirror, even though you can be your worst enemy or your best friend, just know you're a walking miracle on your worst day. You don't even know. I mean, but you will. So as I'm in my meditation, I started to realize, it's like, dude, I could, I don't know how to explain it in words, but feel the energy I had in my place. And, one room I'll have gratitude, the other room I'll have, stuff on financials. I mean, just I have a lot of different things going on. Right now in the background, I'm having one by You Are Creators that's always talking about being divinely protected. A belief system is nothing it's nothing but what you say internally, or that you read, or that you hear over and over and over. And it becomes a belief. That's all that it is. That's why, if you understood the science side of it, if you don't already, the habits are the neurons coming together, right? And they're hardwired. If you see the video, look it up on YouTube. When you learn something new, you double the amount of neurons, right? Touching each other. I think it's like 1,300 to 2,600, or 13,000 to 26,000, something like that. And if you don't go over those, to rehash it, overlook it again, within hours or even days, they prune apart. That's why you forget, right? So that's why you gotta, anytime you're having to look over something again, or if you've read something or an audio, look over it again, save it on a playlist, because every time you hear it, you're hearing it from a different state of consciousness, which means you're gonna pick up something different. And it's just, hopefully people understand that. So anyhow, I started to physically feel what was coming into me. And it was everything that I was playing, like the energy side of it, because I was in a trance. Your eyes are closed, it's dark, I had them folded, blindfolded, and it was just wild. It was wild. So again, in my previous video, you'll see what I do, how I use subliminals, how I use my desktop to layer different types of meditations, affirmations, just a whole bunch of stuff in my prior videos. And so, you know, you have to stop judging your experiences, people. You know, you have to start asking the right questions of what is the upside to that experience, because every experience, every situation has a bad and good. I don't care what it is, including COVID, right? And I'm not going to go into it. I'll make a video on it if you want, but there are upsides to that too. But the type of questioning to your experiences will determine the type of answers you get. If it's why does this always happen to me? Why do I always have bad luck? Anytime you ask a question, your subconscious mind and your brain are basically wired to have to answer it. And because of your what's called your reticular activating system in the back that allows the amount of information that comes in, right? So like, let's say if you want to manifest a car and you keep on, all of a sudden you see the car all of the time all over the place. You could be in the highway in Houston, Texas, during traffic, on the opposite side of the highway, coming this way, and you'll see that red car out of everything else. And that's because of the RAS system, okay? What I plan to do is eventually start helping bridge the gap in being able to communicate in terminology that I can convey it in hopes that someone will be inspired enough to do their own research and be able to pass it forward and come up with their own perception of it and pass it forward, right? Pay it forward. So, you know, you have to not judge your experiences, ask the right questions. And what I mean by that, you know, instead of, you know, why do I always have bad luck? You know, one thing my kids kind of are catching on is that whenever something happens with me that I used to, you know, either cuss or be upset or angry, I say the opposite. I say, why am I so blessed? Why am I so lucky? And it's become a habit now, right? And it diffuses the situation. And for other people, it could be, you know, how is this experience going to help me evolve to help other people? How is this going to take me to the next level? How, you know, what is the purpose of this happening to me, you know, in the most positive way for the higher good of all? I mean, you ask these open-ended questions to try to understand the upside of the situation instead of just, you know, the downside. You know, that's with anything in the world. They say, what's the saying? I have it written here. It says, the fear of loss, that which we seek, or the fear of gain of that which we try to avoid, are the two things of human suffering. And that was from I learned that from Dr. DeMartini, and there were some other teachers he learned it from. So anyhow, just stop judging your situation. Understand that it's on the way, not in the way to your next level of what your life's purpose is supposed to be. I've noticed that a lot of people are always concerned about what other people think, what they say, or, you know, what their belief system is, and they're so timid about what they talk about and so forth. Who gives a rat's ass? I mean, just, if you can help people, help people. You will know who you can talk to and who you can't. You know when someone's paying attention. You know when they're rolling their eyes at you. You know by their facial features or what they're doing. And if they're not into it, stop. Because it will do the opposite and suck the energy right out of you. And then guess what? You're going to climb up and be more of a show, and you're not going to want to talk to anybody. To me, as you can tell, I'm a blabbermouth, right? This is what I do for a living. I sell businesses for a living, so I got to talk to people. I got to be comfortable, right? I got to get past that barrier, you know? Let's see. The easiest way to be able to explain it is remember that this is your universe, and we're all living in it. Just as this is my universe, and you all are living in it. And contingent upon what your belief system is how the screen of space or reality, 3D world, is going to portray it for you. Now, when you have that belief system that everything works out for the higher good of all, period, because this is just an illusion. We're not separate. We're all part of the divine mind, divine source, energy, God, whatever you want to call it, whatever your belief system is, things start to click and start to make more sense. But we have to get out of the programmed mind of way of thinking, because it does you no good, because you just end up judging, hating, and feeling guilty and getting sick and, you know, just bad stuff. But the good thing is right now we're in a time where you don't have to wait till pain or someone dies or a divorce or something before that you're so in such pain that you break out of your paradigm. Now you have a choice. Earth is ascending. Either you're going to go with it or you're not. It's that simple. You know, everything has its place, including religion. Because I was there. I was that guy 3 years ago of it was this way and only way or you're going to hell. Which is, you know, there's no hell either. I hate to break it to you. That's a whole other conversation though. But everyone needs something to believe in to take them to that level. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter who or what religion, if it's a three-legged monkey, what, it doesn't matter. Because we're all on the same path, you know, different journey, same path, but headed to the same place, right? So, and we can never judge a person's evolution on a soul level. Think about that. We can talk till we're blue in the face and want to help those that want to listen and hear. But you can't judge a person because we really don't know what their true, authentic self soul is here to learn. Just like they don't know what ours is. Hell, we're trying to figure out what ours is. But once you experience it, the mystery of Christ, that is a mystery until you experience it in person and understand that He is you and you are Him, just as God. It says it all over the place. It says it in the Bible. You know, I'm not going to go there either just yet. But it says it all over the place. There are a lot of things there that maybe they added. I don't know. But again, if we ourselves talk about our past and 50% is made up, imagine the number of years in that. I'll just leave it at that. Okay? But it has its purpose. Because without a belief in something like that, we're lost. We don't know what the hell we're doing here, why we're here, what's up. You know, we just know what our parents had taught us and decades of genetic, you know, programming that's within our genes, which again can be changed because of epigenetics. If you know anything about Dr. Bruce Lipton, look into that. You're not your genes. You're not gonna die of cancer. Blah blah blah. Something like 5% of the people that are genetically have that in their family line, like less than 5% actually died because of that, or like less than 1%, something like that. Some small number. The actual reason why they end up catching the same disease is because of the environment, meaning their thoughts, their feelings, the stress, everything else, or what they put in their body, toxins, cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, whatever, combination of everything. That's what majority of the people die from, right? The beautiful thing is the embodiment of God is your imagination. And we know that all things are possible with God. Everyone agrees on that, right? That's what we were raised, what we know. The imagination part is where people, including myself at first, was a very hard time understanding and grasping. Because if you think about it, everything you around you right now, everything you look at, started out as an image in someone's mind. Just as we were in the God, in the God's eyes, God's image, God's mind, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, right? Same thing. There's a couple of meditations. I'll probably put these links below as well that are super powerful. The purpose of the meditations is to reach the filling state of the desired state fulfilled, right? Think from the end, not of the end, right? Like think as if you're already there. Understanding the science of understanding that you can build, because of neurogenesis and neuroplasticity, you can build the circuitry in your mind to release because every thought releases a chemical in the body called an emotion, right? It's like a balance sheet. The stronger the emotion, the more your body memorizes it. The only thing is, we remember the bad ones more than we know the good ones, right? You have 10 good things happening in your life. One bad thing happens. What do you focus on? The bad thing, right? That's the way we're programmed, because that's how we were able to survive when there were dinosaurs. Only there's no more freaking dinosaurs. It's the associate, the neighbor, the ex, the parent, the mother-in-law, father-in-law, grandparent, whatever it is, the person you hate. And guess what? You know what? They're part of you. You are them. They are you. So if you're judging on someone or hating on someone, understand that's something that's telling you to go within and find that. Where in your lifetime did someone do that to you, or vice versa, that it's in you? And when you find that, you'll be less judgmental. You'll send your blessings instead. It's it gets pretty wild. Sorry. Make sure your imagination is everything and no one can take it away. Keep royalty in your mind. You can do a meditation, like I said, I'll put a link below, of closing your eyes, pretending to be Pharaoh or a king, just like a little kid. People don't understand that kids are the most powerful people in the world because they had no belief system until, they said, by the age of 7, like 90% of their imagination is gone. And so when you, in this meditation, you'll see they'll ask you to be like think of a king or Pharaoh, and you're overlooking all your people, and see yourself with people feeding grapes, and someone massaging your feet, and blah blah blah, and get to the feeling state of the desired, what they're trying to do to get you to feel, so you understand that energy can be manipulated. When you master your emotions and master your thoughts, you found the secret, just as Christ did. Because when you do that, and when I say manipulated, like, you can right now think of a favorite song that you grew up with, or a favorite moment, a child being born, the first time you lost your virginity, the only time you lost your virginity, sorry, whatever it may be. But you can think of a moment in your life where you just close your eyes and you can think so much deep about it that you get these elevated emotions, whether it's a baby being born or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about? You just manipulated energy. If you can understand how to create a trigger on that, and it's a skill, just like anything else, you get better and better and better with it. You can learn how to bring up those feeling states with a clear intention, and boom. Because remember, intention sends the signal out. The emotion draws it back in. Right? And this is all science-based stuff. Again, later on I'll break it down and go through other videos. I was inspired to do this, so hopefully you're still with me. Just be royalty in your mind. If you've never looked into Neville Goddard, man, he was teaching this stuff in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and you can only imagine what people were doing for him. But to him, he could care less because of what he was able to do, what he was able to show and prove, and all the people he was able to help. And it's still around, and man, it's just, his teachings are coming on strong. And it's not that he was better than anybody or anything like that or anything else, which is another thing. If you find someone that's wealthy or something up here, you hold them up on a pedestal, right? You're not humble enough to admit that that person is you and you are them, that you could be them. So you're already judging it of keeping them there. If it's a homeless person, you're not humble enough to admit that that could be you and that is you and you are them. So you look down on them. Just like when if you give a homeless person $1, right, or whatever it is, food, and they bless you, they say God bless you, man. To me, that is super powerful, because that is truly coming from that authentic divine self within that person. And if you're receptive to it and know what it really truly is, man, it's huge. It's huge. Sorry, it's phone here. So again, I just wanted to be able to help you understand about how important it was to keep doing the work. What's worked for me in keeping these affirmations, subliminals, now the auto-inquisition. Man, I got some great, beautiful ideas that's really going to help people, techniques that's going to combine everything I'm learning. I'm going to start creating these blocks of 8-hour affirmations, right? If you're lucky enough to be a part of it right now, great, because you'll be the first people to hear it. Because there's no doubt in my mind what it's going to do for people and how quickly it's going to pick up. And it's already out there. And it's crazy because when you have an idea, act on it. Because once you have the idea, you've put that idea to the collective. And if you don't act on it, someone else will, right? Of course, it's all for the higher good of everyone. So if you don't act on it, it's going to be for the higher good of everyone. So someone else will act on it, right? So anyhow, I know this is kind of long. I hope you kept up with me. I'm sorry that I was kind of all over the place. I was just very excited to do this video. I had done one earlier that was only about 30 minutes. And it was probably the best videos I've ever done. And for whatever other reason, the universe said nope, because my speaker, my son's Oculus, was connected. So That was this morning at 10:30, and it's kind of like it's funny because even though the universe is testing you, it's you testing you because you are the universe to see how you're going to react, right? Normally, I'd be pissed, get upset, and allow it to dictate my day, right? A couple of years ago, and now I just knew it instantly and just started laughing because I was like, yeah, you ain't gonna catch me. I'm aligned, I started laughing, so I went and had lunch with my kids, came back, and here at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and here doing the video. It may not be the best video, but at least hopefully it'll help someone in some way or another. If you got questions, I will do my best to answer them. I will start cleaning up my playlist. If you go to the playlist on my channel, you will see everything the last 3 years I've experimented with. Don't knock it till you try it. If you don't like it, still come back to it because, again, you change every day, every minute of every day. And as I'll end this as Greg Braden would say that I can't recall, it was on Gaia, how they discovered could have been the last sayings of Christ in Aramaic before he, knew what his word was. It was La Alam Almin Amen, basically, which is very equivalent to and so it is, right? So hopefully that helps, and wish you all love, light, and peace. Take care.